Worldly Interactions Related to Money, Part 3.
Ilavati Vagela. In our home, we aren't being repaid when we go to make collections. We are remaining in the 5 agnas, but nothing is going our way. The borrowers are also Mahatmas, yet they are not repaying us our money. When you say us, do you mean to say that you put money into the business, or was it your husband?
It was my husband.
And you also go to make collections?
My husband goes, but it is causing quarrels in the home. He says we gave them money because of your advice.
So you had advised him?
Yes.
Oh, but make sure you understand one thing. We have warned all Mahatmas. We have warned Mahatmas many times in many satsangs. Mahatmas should not have money-related interactions with other Mahatmas. And if you want to do it, then give the money with the understanding that you have placed it in a black bag and dropped it in the ocean, with the readiness that it will not be returned. Only give it if you have that type of readiness. Otherwise, you got into a quarrel because of this, didn't you? Not only between the two of you, but also with the Mahatma. How could you do this after becoming Dada's Mahatma? Understand this much, that Dada's Mahatmas are Mahatmas due to their internal Jagrati or awakened awareness. Their Prakriti or non-self complex is still full of ignorance and subject to unfolding karma. Their Prakritis are dependent on unfolding karma. And if they don't have it, what will they give you?
But they have it. They have money. Yet they are still not giving it. They said we are going through a little bit of difficulty, so please give us some. So I said to my husband, give them some. That's why he gave it to them.
Why did you give it? What did you get out of it? Make sure to understand one thing. At the time that you are giving, let's say that you gave 10,000. He gave you 10,000 worth of ego in exchange. If you take the ego, then you take his ego in exchange for the 10,000 that you are giving. At the gross level, you gave 10,000. At the subtle level, you have purchased 10,000 worth of ego. The karmic account has been settled. Now the new transaction, he will either take his mortgaged ego back by repaying the 10,000, or he has essentially sold his ego. If he has taken the 10,000, then we should understand that his ego is his self, the relative self. He is giving us the energies of his self. Merit karma worth 10,000 is safe and sound with us.
He won't say no. He keeps saying, yes, I'll give it. I'll give it. He is not saying no.
Definitely understand this one thing, that once you have given it, it is equivalent to being gone. Will you be able to find the money that has been thrown into the ocean? So what is the solution you should use? First, bow to their pure soul and pray to them, that they develop common sense and that the money comes back to you. Do not have a single negative intent for that person. If your husband is having negative intents, then also tell him that there is no reason to do so. You should not do it and I won't either. Have good intents for them like, may he develop common sense, may he pay it back if he can. If he can't, then it is Vyavasthit, it is my karmic account, it is not his fault.
At home, we get into fights about this daily.
Then do penance. You should also not see the faults of your husband. If he insults you, then you should say, what is your name?
Ilavati.
Then you should tell Ilavati, credit this, it is not his fault. We enjoyed praise. These are my Mahatmas, so give it to them. Since we enjoyed the praise, the pride is taking a beating. Now, do penance and pray. And if you make one wrong intent, what does Dada tell us? When you go to make collections and the other person gives you the runaround, and if this happens 10 times, and if you don't spoil your intent, then the money will come back to your doorstep.
It's been 2 years, yet nothing has come.
Does your intent ever spoil?
No, it doesn't spoil anymore.
No, but did it ever spoil in the past 2 years?
No.
What do you mean, no? If your husband scolds you, do you feel affection towards him? Do you feel affection towards that Mahatma, or does your intent spoil? Does it spoil for Ilavati or not?
It spoils.
Yes. When it spoils, you must understand that if it spoils once, then the repayment will be delayed by 6 months. The second time it spoils, it will be late by another 6 months. If you can go 6 months without spoiling your intent, then the old obstructions will break. In that way, if you don't spoil your intent even once, then the obstructions will break and there will be some chance of the money returning.
Jai Sachidanand.
Do not spoil your intents. And are you able to pass the days in your home comfortably or not? Huh?
Yes, I am.
Then enjoy yourself. Don't get depressed. If you don't have enough for tomorrow, then you should worry. If there isn't enough for the day after tomorrow, but there is enough for tomorrow, then there's no problem. We will see to it at that time. No crow, dog, cat, bird, not even an elephant, who is so big that it requires 40 pounds at a time, worries about whether they will have food tomorrow. Now an ant, who requires only a grain's worth, does worry a little. It only needs this much, but it starts gathering at 4 in the morning. On the other hand, an elephant doesn't gather anything. It roams around and leisurely eats. Its stomach is this large, yet it gets what it requires. Dharmendra C. Chauhan. File number 1 is fulfilling his duty as an accounting officer in the government. As part of that duty, according to the rules, many times deductions have to be made from employees' pay. Employees believe that they have a right to these amounts. However, this results in internal friction because they do not have rights to this according to the rules. This causes suffering to 100 to 150 people at once. How do I do pratikraman for this? In this situation, there must be some procedures in accordance with the law where this is how much you have taken, this is not your overtime, this is not that. Show them all this and bring about a resolution to the matter.
We show it to them. We bring about a resolution, but they are not ready to accept it. They say, "No, the manager before you was never looking at any of this. You're the one that is reviewing this and cutting my salary."
Now what you should do is, from this day onwards, make every employee aware, this is our law, this is how it will work. If a month from now your pay is cut, then don't cause a ruckus. You all must understand this.
Deepakbhai, it is such that I have to work with teachers.
What?
The teachers that grade exams are placed at various locations within Gujarat. So I have to make payments 10 to 15 times a year. Therefore, I only come into contact with them once. Hence, it is not possible to do that. Nonetheless, I make them properly understand to the fullest extent possible. Even then, they say, "The manager before you was not looking at any of this. So why are you doing it?"
No, tell them, I have been ordered from the higher-ups. What can I do? The previous manager may not have received such an order, but I have pressure from up above. And you have the documents that explain the rules and regulations, don't you?
I show it to them. Nevertheless, they are not satisfied by it. When we see suffering on their faces, in our minds we feel they are suffering so much.
How much lenience do you have in this?
No, it's not possible to be lenient.
So then where can you go? You are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yes.
They are suffering and there is pressure from above. You can tell them from your heart, my heart's desire is to give you what you want. I feel bad that you are suffering.
Deepakbhai, I adjust so much that sometimes I give my own money from my wallet. If you feel you are receiving less money, then here, take some of my money.
Then our responsibility ends there. At the most, do pratikraman. You are suffering because of me. Please forgive me. Besides that,
Deepakbhai, in a year, I deal with about 1,000 to 1,500 people in this manner. I don't even have their names. How do I do pratikraman for them?
no, pray for them. I don't want to hurt anyone. And when it happens, take a few minutes and repent for it. Right now, your job is such, but gradually, if you can find a job somewhere else, then go there. You can change your line of business, can't you?
I have a job.
You can find a new job, right? But you can change it, right? Can't you find something better? Is it possible to get another one?
Now the possibilities are limited.
Now it's limited. Well, then let it be. Maintain the intention that I don't want to hurt anyone and I don't want anyone to be dissatisfied. And where it's happening, ask for forgiveness. Repent a lot. Spend 10 to 15 minutes specifically for this. Repent for 15 minutes and do Dada Bhagwan na asim jai kar ho for 15 minutes. They will feel that it is not your fault because you are within the law. It is our difficulty. That is how they will feel. But from your end, pray and have positive intents for them and do pratikraman for whatever has happened. Then you will not incur the liability.
Jai Satchidanand.
Dayabai Patel, Vijapur. Jantral. When we are having interactions of money, Is it a past karmic account if we have lent money to someone and it is not returned immediately? Does money acquired through ill methods leave one way or another? Is it possible to achieve moksha through money? Moksha cannot be attained through money. Money is there to run worldly interactions. In the olden days, one would give 10 kilograms of wheat and take 15 kilograms of millet. They would trade with each other in this manner. Then later they decided on a medium, and that was money. 10 kilograms of wheat is acquired using money. 15 kilograms of millet is acquired using money. So the worldly interaction runs using money. It is a tool to run worldly interactions. Now, your 2 points. If we have lent money to someone and it is not returned immediately, then is it a past karmic account? Yes, it is definitely a karmic account. If we have given 10,000 and it is not being returned, then we should speak to them in a normal way. When collecting the money, you should speak to them in a straightforward way, with the same intention, love, and humility that you had when lending the money. Not by intimidating them, quarreling with them, or doing kashai.
What I'm trying to ask is, why don't I have any savings? I'm doing a job.
You aren't able to save money?
I'm not able to save money.
Do you have enough for food and shelter?
Yes, I have a job with a good salary, but I'm not able to save anything. I'm making donations and I'm also acquiring merit karma.
Don't keep any hope for saving money. The money of this Kali Yuga or current era of the time cycle is such that it gives us pain and then leaves. Whether you saved money or not, however much is possible, you can use it for religion. What you are spending for satsang is also going towards the self. The money has gone towards satsang.
We have to do something for the children, don't we?
What about the children?
We have to save for our children, don't we?
There is no such law. How much did your father give you?
That's true.
So keep the same amount for your child. If your father gave you 15,000, then you should keep 15,000 for your child. If they gave you 150,000, then you should keep 150,000 for your child. Yes, maintain the intention that their education, health, tuition, clothes, food, and other such necessities are fulfilled. The upbringing of the child is our responsibility until they start a job.
Yes, that was what I was talking about in terms of getting the children a job.
In terms of getting a job, tell him, you have now grown up. We have provided for your studies and completed our responsibility. Make preparations for a job. Then he will live his life with the earnings from his job. If you live together, then support each other in a nice way.
If the government is giving more pay for less work, what should we do?
There is less work.
Is that the wrong path?
There is less work and you are getting more pay?
Yes, that is what is happening.
Then save the excess money.
But there is no extra money.
So you are not generating any savings?
No.
Then understand that whatever has happened is vyavasthit. Whatever has happened is justice. The reason being, how much money can really be saved in this Kali Yuga? You are an employee. These large businessmen are crying. All of our money has gone away. What was valued at 300 million is only 3 million now. Or they say, it's only worth 15 million now. They are all crying. If those people are having problems, then what chances do you have? Therefore, you should just understand that whether you are able to save money or not, you can practice religion, you can go to satsang. If you want to subscribe to the Dadavani magazine, then you can afford the fees. If you want books or DVDs, then you can purchase them. Then understand that you are blessed.
Actually, I'm playing the videos and watching satsang daily.
Then that's more than enough.
I have about 20 to 25 DVDs of Dada Bhagwan. I listen to them every day.
That's enough. Spend your time in that. This Kali Yuga is such that your time to leave may come at any time. However much you do while you are alive will come with you. However much you donate with your hands will come with you. And if you use it for satsang, then you are blessed.
Jai Satchidanand.
She says, I am working as a teacher. I am saving 1,000 rupees of my salary. My file 2 had told me to save 500 rupees. So your file 2 had said to save 500. But you saved 1,000.
Yes.
And you have not let him find out.
No.
What did you do with that money?
Well, that money gets deposited. After all of my deductions, my salary gets deposited there.
But what will you do with that money?
I would like to come and live in Samandar city. Additionally, I have a tuber of greed, Deepakbhai. So I want to get a gold chain made.
Oh, You have partially revealed this deceit. You ask here, is this considered greed or deceit? It is certainly deceit. The fact that you want to come live in Simandar city is an offense that can be somewhat forgiven. No, but this is all considered deceit towards your husband. This is considered a tuber. When she gets a sari, she tells her husband, I only spent 250 on that. But in actuality, it costs 450. The remaining 200 is kept and goes towards that tuber.
No, Deepakbhai. I save that money and give books here. I donate here. I do all of that.
You should tell your husband about the gold chain. I have a desire for this. If you agree and it is feasible, then otherwise, why use this money towards deceit and incur a liability? Do you want to be born as a female again?
No, I only want to attain moksha.
Then what will you do about the gold chain?
Right now, I have the illusory attachment to wear one.
Then see, let it happen naturally, but don't do deceit for that.
Yes.
Hitesh. If we have the intent for neither abundance nor scarcity, then when will this come into fruition? Hitesh, Rajkot. If I am graced with lots of wealth, I want to use it for Jagat Kalyan. It seems that personal security is also subtly hidden behind that intent. Gradually, get rid of the portion related to security. It should be used for others. The intent should be, rather than getting more, getting less, or getting none, may some of my wealth be used for Jagat Kalyan. Maintain that intent. Otherwise, it is one's illusory attachment. I'll earn a lot so that I can give to Dada's projects. But when they do earn, do you know how much they give? They earn 2 million and give 2,000, while saying one should only spend for Dada's projects. Hey, how can you give only 2,000 when you earn 2 million due to Dada's grace? Go ahead and give 1.9 million. Then we can understand that you have the intention to earn for Dada's projects. Many people even say, from now on, whatever income comes from this business is Dada's, and they actually give it. Here, after giving 2 to 5%, who is the remaining 95% for? For getting a chain and things like that. All of that is equivalent to cheating the Lord.
That intention that we are making of not having abundance or scarcity, is that only for this one life?
Keep that in your awareness. But when you stop having a desire for your own money, this knowledge is such that you will gradually let go of your illusory attachment for money. It will remain in normality. The fruit of that is an absence of abundance or scarcity. It will happen automatically. And now, we don't want to make a new design of no abundance or no scarcity. We want to go to moksha, and whatever we get as a byproduct, let it be. This is an established principle for the general public. For us, the principle is, whatever it is, let it be. If we get it, then we will make proper use of it. Do you understand?
There has been a lot of instability in the last 2 to 3 years. Currently, I have applied many of Dada's established principles, and I have benefited a lot from that.
That is very true. Are you the only one who has experienced instability, or would other people have also experienced it?
Many people have experienced it.
Yes, the entire world is dealing with instability. When the boat shakes, don't we shake with it? All of the passengers shake. That is what the current situation is like. With this Jnana, we have obtained a place to stand still. We have received a place to become stable. Otherwise, people in the world don't have that either. They are facing so much difficulty that the pain and suffering cannot be described. They haven't received the state of the self, and they can't find a path out of that suffering. That is why we are praying to all the people of the world. All Mahatmas are praying, come and take Jnana. You will obtain a place to stand. Otherwise, you will be carried away by this flood and will drown. A very terrible time is coming.
What should we do if we have become an instrumental doer in someone else's loss?
Do pratikraman. Otherwise, what can be done after the fact? If it was done indirectly, then do pratikraman indirectly. However, if it was done directly, like you took 15,000 but didn't return it, then once you have the funds, you should repay it.
No, I haven't taken money in that manner. But through a stock market terminal, many people have incurred a loss.
What is the solution for that?
I feel very hurt, and I hope that at some point I can benefit them.
Nonetheless, You must have benefited them at some point in the past, right? What happened then?
Just like what you had explained, the earnings were reinvested.
The stock market. You have to understand that the water meant for the ocean will certainly reach the ocean. It will not come to our home. The stock market, the casinos, in gambling are all like that. Don't we say the profits of Mumbai are absorbed in Mumbai? Similarly, the profits of America are absorbed in America. The profits of London are absorbed in London. The profits of Ahmedabad stay in Ahmedabad. You should feel grateful that you have food and shelter. You never know when these earnings will disappear. That is how this current time of Kali Yuga is. That's why we should carefully get our work for the self done. Do you understand?
Recently, I have applied the 10% system that you spoke about. Over the last couple of years, there have been many times when I am down to zero and I am able to maintain equanimity. However, my file too becomes very impatient. We're expecting something to come from somewhere. At the last moment, it definitely arrives. Our work has never come to a standstill. Therefore, it has been proven. And just a few moments ago, you mentioned what Dada told you and the experience you had. I'm having that same sort of experience right now.
That is true. You can make every attempt to attain wealth, but don't have a desire for it. Don't think about it, and don't have expectations for it such as, I have to have this much. Make an effort, then say, whatever has happened is Vyavasthit, and turn back. However much is actually going to come to you in 2010 is something you have already brought in Vyavasthit. However much is actually going to come to you in 2011 is also something you have brought in Vyavasthit. Be it 2008, 9, 10 or 11, you have brought with you the account for your entire life. And if you make a strong desire, if you have 2 million in the bank and each year you plan to use 100,000 but you end up using 400,000 at once, then won't you have a shortfall in the future? This is how the accounts of the world operate. If one has an intense desire and is working extremely hard, then he is using up that which is for the future today. One day he will face a shortfall. Instead, why don't you let it come naturally? Nature is very just. If you overate at someone's wedding yesterday, then you won't feel hungry in the morning, or in the afternoon, or in the evening. Why? Because you used up today's quota yesterday, it won't let you feel hungry today. Nonetheless, if you say that one must eat and you overeat again, then one day you will become sick with a fever and it won't let you eat for 3 days. Nature will induce a fever and force you to stop eating. It won't let you go.
In the example of the landowner that you spoke about, the person that was going to give money tricked him and held back the funds. But how will we know when our bad times will end?
For us, this file number 1,
He had been given goats, so
what you should do is stay involved with small jobs that are worth a few thousand. Rotate the funds in that. From that, you can tell whether there was an increase or decrease. If you say, I am not getting success, then turn back. Otherwise, the best solution is to get a job. What I did was, I initially worked for 6 months in the early days. I'm talking about 1975. From that job, I received a business opportunity. I didn't make anything in a year and a half, so I shut it down and got another job. I worked in the job for 2 to 3 years until I got another business opportunity. That's when I started a business again. 1 became 3. We should study our situation. Truthfully, one becomes blinded by greed. Therefore, he becomes blind to his surroundings. Actually, if you... What is your name?
Hitesh.
If you stay separate from Hitesh in the pure soul and observe Hitesh, then you will gain the insight. Oh, Hitesh, time is being wasted. Stop this. Everything resonates within. You can tell whether you are about to sneeze, can't you? You can tell whether you have to go to the bathroom, can't you? A person can know everything, but when he loses himself somewhere, then he loses his senses. Actually, if we remain aware in the self, then nature will provide the intuition or the signal or the information for all of the relative things.
That's true. Because when I started working in the stock market, I used to feel that Dada has clearly stated that we should not engage in this. I was constantly receiving signals from within that something bad is going to happen. That came into my experience.
That is true.
Additionally, This is the intellect that is asking the question. If we set aside 10% today, the intellect is asking, isn't that the fruition of the karma from our previous life?
Look, the point that it is the fruition of the karma from our previous life is correct. But today, where is your intention to use the money?
For Jagat Kalyan.
Then the previous link joins with that intention. Because yesterday you may have went up to 11, so it's possible that you start off at 12 from today. And if you were at 0 yesterday, then you have to start fresh from today. But it is definitely new from today. Even though it is from the past, it is linked to the present. And for this, the intellect is such that it doesn't want to give anything away. It feels like torture when it has to give anything up. So it says, if there is an account from the past, then I will be able to give it, otherwise not. In that manner, it tries to find a loophole. Once we have decided that we want to give in this manner, then it should be given. Those that cheat the process and gradually stop giving, they face losses in their businesses.
Okay.
We don't have the intent that they should suffer a loss. However, this is something that is worth understanding. If you turn back on what you had decided, that is where sincerity is needed. The more you stay sincere to your goal, to your intention, to your rule, nature will provide the fruits of that sincerity. Nature's law is such that all of your necessities will be fulfilled until the end. You are considered a guest of nature. Humans are considered guests.